Hi, this is JJ Singh for Partap University, and today we're going to start looking at the course slash textbook Time Series Analysis by Dr. William Wei, W-E-I. The subtitle of the book is, well, the full title is Time Series Analysis, Univariate and Multivariate Methods. It is edition number 2, the second edition. It's very important because there's a lot of stuff in the second edition that you can't find in the first edition. So you can't be cheap and buy the first edition. You have to buy the second edition, and it's well worth the money, believe me. So, why am I doing this? I took a course with Dr. Wei in which he follows his own textbook, and it was an excellent course. And unfortunately, the recordings I have from that course did not come out that well. Otherwise, I would have posted Dr. Wei's original lectures. So instead, I'm going to basically be repeating what he said in class. So some of what you'll hear me saying is my own opinion, but most of what you'll hear me saying is Dr. Wei's opinion and basically his directive straight out of the class. So the first thing you need to do, well, other than buy the textbook, is you need to do a search for Dr. Wei online so that you can find his webpage at temple.edu. So you could just do a Google search, put in WEI space temple.edu, and the first result that you get, at least if you're looking at this on November 28th, 2011, like I am, is Dr. Wei's website on temple.edu. So if you click on that, you'll notice a couple of links. One of them says course syllabi. If you click on that and then choose Stat 8132, click on that, Stat 8132, and you'll hit the course syllabi for the course syllabus for the course. And the course is called Time Series Analysis and Forecasting. So have a quick look through that, and you'll basically get an idea of, I think there's about 15 lectures of material, and you'll get an idea of what what order they'll be covered in, starting with stationary time series models, then non-stationary models, then time series forecasting, then there'll be a case study and a discussion time series software. Then we'll go into model identification and parameter estimation, diagnostic checking, and model selection. And we'll also talk about seasonality in time series models, so seasonal time series models. Another case study and discussion of time series software. Then we'll go into intervention analysis and outlier detection. Outlier is something that lies outside of everything else, basically, as the name suggests. We'll talk about time series regression. Then we'll go into volatility, Arch and Garch models. Then another case study in time series software. And finally, we'll talk about vector time series models and co-integration. Now, as far as prereqs go, you should have one of the three that are listed there, and you can look up the course descriptions to compare to the courses you have available at whatever university you've gone to or are going to or plan to go to. The three that Dr. Wei mentions are Stat 8002, Econ 8009, and or the third one, Advanced Undergrad Stats and Probability Equivalent to Math 3031, 3032. So I won't spend a lot of time talking about that stuff. You can look it up yourself. Basically, you want to have some sort of advanced knowledge of probability theory or the beginnings or intermediate level econometrics work. That's the easiest way I would describe it as a prereq to this course. So getting back to Dr. Wei's website at Temple, if instead of going into this course syllabi, you clicked on the link that says datasets, you'll see a bunch of datasets, probably around 20 of them or something, 22 or something like that, that are the datasets we'll be using to go over examples from the textbook. Homework datasets are your own, and of course there's no homework submissions here, but I will be talking about homework that was done in class that was assigned and what the answers were and that sort of thing, although I won't be going into as much detail as you might like because this is an audio recording and there's only so much of written material that you can translate into audio form. It's going to be very important for you to have the textbook with you at all times. And in fact, it's best to read the first two chapters before you even listen to the first lecture, which we haven't really gotten into yet, but you can consider this a first lecture. So if you want to just pause now, go read the first two chapters and come back, that's a good idea. So after you finish the course, it's guaranteed that whatever kind of time series you encounter, you'll be able to create a model and do something with it. If you can achieve this level of competence, then you'll definitely pass the class. And by the same token, if you pass the class, you should be able to handle any kind of time series that comes your way. So if you do any kind of empirical study, you'll be able to handle it with the time series models from this class. But remember, you want to read the textbook before you come to class, and that's especially crucial before the first lecture. You may not understand the material when you're first reading it, but that's okay. You'll get a review in class, and the presentation in class will help illustrate and solidify the knowledge from reading it. And Dr. Wei recommends that you do the pre-reading, the pre-class reading, for all material possible before his class. So before you listen to these audio lectures, please try to read the textbook, especially before the first lecture. It's most crucial before the first lecture to read the first 2 chapters. So again, I'll mention that if you haven't done that, please pause the recording, go do that, and then come back. Now, since Dr. Wei uses his own material, it's up to you whether you want to take notes. If you take notes in his class, then some students don't even need to write detailed notes. They can just make note of the key points, the key phrases, the key sentences. And those are actually taken word for word out of the textbook in the lecture. So Dr. Wei pretty much follows his own textbook to a T, and so sometimes you don't even have to take notes. Although I personally think it does help to take notes, because it's just another form of active learning that will increase your likelihood of remembering the material. If you end up learning everything from the textbook, then you can, in Dr. Wei's opinion, actually teach a course on your own of the material. You'd be that good. At the end of each chapter, Dr. Wei has a collection of exercises to go through. Some are theoretical, some are applied, and for the most part, the interest of this course will be in application. And so it follows that except for some fundamental characteristics of certain models, Dr. Wei expects that you be able to compute answers to the exercises. And so for the most part, when he goes over this course, he does not discuss the majority of the proofs, or more importantly, he does not expect you to understand and be able to explain the majority of the proofs. Unless, of course, you are doing a PhD in a related field in statistics or econometrics, in which case Dr. Wei would suggest you go through the proofs as well. And as it happened when I took the class, if you were one of those PhD students, which I wasn't, but there were people in the class who were, and if they handed in the homework, and in addition to the assigned homework, they also handed in questions related to those proofs, Dr. Wei would actually go through their answers and basically give them a grade without counting it towards anything, but he would make notes in their homework indicating what was correct, what wasn't, what needed to be done. So it was very helpful. But again, for the majority of the people studying this, and the majority of the people in Dr. Wei's classes, the emphasis is not on the proofs, but on the methodology and knowing how to use it.